Welcome back, everybody. There we go. I think we got it. So, it's another beautiful day in our prison. Let's take a peek at... where the hell are we? Let's speed up time. Deployment, Jurubs. Let's see who's cleaning and who's doing what. So we've got a shit ton of guys doing laundry, cleaning cupboards again. We've got cleaning cupboards galore. The main reason for all the cleaning cupboards is I'm sick and tired of my prison being covered in shit. Quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't like it. So you can see these guys mopping up, getting this place cleaned up good. And we have 450 prisoners. So we've lost... We had what? What do we have? Like 530? How the hell does that happen? How does 80 prisoners get due for release? I haven't had any riots or anything like that since the last video. Look at that. We're down to 450 prisoners. So there you go. We hit 500. We hit the goal. I don't really mind the fact that there's only 450. And I brought in 90 more prisoners to boot. Jesus. I don't get it. I just don't get it. What are you all in cuffs for? Found tools, huh? Search his cell. You can see here these guys are mopping up pretty good. Kitchen staff are going buck-a-ya. We're almost into our last slot of free time before dinner. This should be the point where the guys start coming into the kitchen to work, I believe. You can see we got the freezers finally orientated properly. They were just I don't know, for whatever reason they didn't want to place the same way as the other ones, so I had to turn them backwards. Doesn't make a difference either way. But we also hired another 10 cooks. I hired another 10 janitors, one more gardener. I'm not going to bring the armed guards in until later. Oh, that reminds me. So, in prep for episode 105, I want to have a lot of armed guards, right? Because armed guards are going to be what basically murders everyone. So, in preparation, we're going to put in a few more lockers. And I like that. So, what the hell? Let's just keep going. I want to murder everybody. There we go. Now we have the possibility for an absolute mayhem to happen in this prison. Once those lockers are all installed, we're going to have, I don't even know, 30 armed guards. Maybe something like that. Maybe 20, whatever it was. I wasn't counting. The point is this. When I lock everyone in the cafeteria and then post armed guards here, and armed guards here, armed guards here, and armed guards here, and then open the doors, it's going to get fucking crazy. There's going to be an absolute bloodbath of unparalleled proportions. Some of you might be saying, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to... Well, because it's a finale. It's Thunderdome. Thunderdome. Come on. You don't want to see Thunderdome? I want to see Thunderdome. I know I want to see Thunderdome, so... that's what it's going to be. Ah. I mean, honestly, this prison's at the end of its life anyways. So I will keep it because it's a testament for what is accomplishable in this game, if you ask me. We are at a point though that it's just lagged out, and there's too many sprites. It just doesn't work properly anymore. And the layout is too wide. It's too large for a proper functioning prison anymore. But I mean, you have to remember, this is over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lot expansions There is 10 lot expansions around this thing. Or maybe not 10. Maybe it's... No, it is, because the expansions are small, right? What's this out in the field here? Room requirements. Oops. Maybe that's a kennel there. I wonder if I remove this, will my kennel have issues again? Doesn't seem like it will. We'll see. If that's all you have to do to fix that, I've found a solution. But yeah, Thunderdome. Thunderdome is going to be frickin' awesome. And I mean, the only downside is it's probably only going to be about 400 prisoners in here at the time, because the way these guys are being released, it's ridiculous. But don't get me wrong, once I lock these guys all into this room under a lockdown scenario, oh, they shall riot. They shall riot like unbelievable. So in prep for that, we're going to have to get a couple things done here. So we're going to dump these staff doors, or sorry, these regular doors, and replace them with a jail cell door, which I can lock. Because the idea is going to be to lock them in to the cafeteria. And those doors don't have a lockdown feature, so that wouldn't work. So we're going to get rid of those doors. We'll pull all of the guards out of here that are in here. So the 2 shotgun guys that are patrolling, we're going to pull them out of here. So we're just, excuse me, we're going to pull the guys out of there. We're going to swap over the regime to, basically, we're going to give them just kind of like a really shitty thing where they're stuck around this point in eating time. So that'll bring them all into the cafeteria. They're going to be ornery already. And then I'm just going to lock the doors on them. and they're going to go crazy. They're going to go crazy real quick. And then we're basically just going to prep nothing but shotgunners around the edges. Maybe some riot police on site to bring the tensions up. And then we're just going to let them go. We're just going to let them fucking walk in here and ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Gun everybody down. I'm going to fire off all the other staff in preparation for that, of course. In day 104, that'll be that... what do we got over here now? Oh, just the guy doing the garbage. Day 104, we'll be prepping for that. Getting it all ready to roll. We have way too many guards in this prison, so I'm going to fire off a few more staff here. There we go. 130 with 43 floaters. That's more than enough. I hate it when there's like this little gang of douchebags sitting around in the holding cell and there's a gang of 40 guys sitting up here. That's not necessary. I don't need that shit in my prison. You can see here it's dinner time. You see the hustle and bustle that comes into this joint during dinner. Oh, tonight is also going to be shakedown time. Don't kid yourself. It's going to be a good old-fashioned shakedown time. So let's see. The locker's all installed. We can have 42 armed guards. 42. 42 armed guards. Oh my God. Yeah. That is going to be good. Have they gotten rid of these doors yet? God, you guys are fucking lazy. Come on, workmen. Do what I pay you for. Useless tits. They're like tits on a bull. You can see the cafeteria is considerably larger than it needs to be. This thing could probably seat 600 prisoners, just judging by the number of empty seats with 439. And let's assume there's another 30 that aren't in the prison or in the cafeteria at the moment. So we got about 400 in here at the moment. When we had 527 prisoners, it looked a little bit fuller than it does right now. You can see here, what is that here? I mean, truth be told, you could probably get away with this 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 tables and benches could probably feed 400 prisoners. Right? So, I know there's like 100 benches and tables in here, so it's just silly. But I was never planning to have to build a cafeteria this large. I wanted to have 2 of them, 2 kitchens, 2 cafeterias. Remember our original prison was going to expand out this way? I was just going to keep expanding out this way. Well, I had to quit that because it wasn't feasible to keep going that way. It was just everything was too far away from the cafeteria, the workshops. I mean, guys who would be stationed out here, that would be like a 3-hour walk to get to the workshop for them. So I had to change it up. This is much closer. And, the only reason I haven't continued to build anymore is because we've gotten to the point where it's just not doable. The prison can't expand anymore. There's no point. All that happens now is issues, problems. It's just breaking down. So the whole idea is to we've hit our goal. We hit our goal of 500 prisoners. I'm proud. You're proud. We're all proud. Yada, yada, yada. We're going to do a nice shakedown here as soon as these guys get off to bed, which I imagine most of them are probably heading off to La La Land. We'll let them get their bowels and their other things accomplished. Let all the all the idiots who are stealing spoons to tunnel out. I should probably just turn off the power. Let some guys get these freaking spoons in there. We'll change up the regime right now. Sorry, the policy. Found tools, no time. Found weapons, no time. We'll change that up to 12 hours as well. So there we go. We just changed it up so that this is all again in prep for our kick-ass time. These guys are. This is the reason why we don't have a lot of tunneling, because I have too many metal detectors. They can't get spoons back to their prison cells. Spoons are obviously their main source of tunneling, like main tool for tunneling. And they just can't get them back. I mean, in some cases, these guys are walking through only 1 set of metal detectors. In other cases, they're going through 2. Well, I kind of want it that way. I mean, this prison wouldn't be quite as functional. And it's costly to have to remove tunnels. I mean, you got to dig up you got to get the workmen in there to dig up the floor. The cell's not usable until you do it. It costs money to remove the tunnels. It's probably saved me thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars by having this many metal detectors. So guys, when you're building your prisons, initial costs. Don't be one of those retards that puts them in the shower or near the shower or on the inside of the drains. Don't do that. There's no need. I've shown you need them at the entrance into your cell blocks, and you should be building some form of cell block. Cell blocks are very useful, as you've seen. I hope you guys have been learning from my designs in the sense that multiple yards, okay, we know those don't work. And quite frankly, this design, I could have easily fit 80 prison cells in there like I did up here if I hadn't put in such a big yard at the top with all those solitary cells that never get used. All right, this is a pretty awesome design, these 3. And I think maybe if I build this style again, this is the style I will be going. 1 centralized yard, 2 common rooms. I might even go for 1 monster shower. And that way all the guys have to walk into the shower. They all have 1 yard to work with. They all have... The showers actually... God, I mean, the showers work really effectively, though. So I think I like the shower design. But I absolutely do love this particular style that I built up here. And I'm going to continue it for sure in the future. High-capacity cell blocks. I can build smaller prisons with higher capacity for prisoners. So this style of, I mean, we can hold 200 prisoners with this style right here. Just these 4 blocks here. That's 200 prisoners. So there's 300 prisoners. But this is too far away from this point and this point over here. So in the future, you're going to see an Alpha 18. Alpha 18 is going to be very, very different than what I've done before. So let's get our shakedown going. This is the last shakedown I'm going to be doing. After tonight, there is no more shakedowns. After tonight, it is prepping for day 105, which is going to be Thunderdome. And you guys won't see day 104, really. I'm not going to bother showing it to you. There's not going to be anything to see. Day 104 is going to be really just for me to get it all ready to go. And we're going to have some really, really kick-ass shit. Not like my finale where I tried to burn the prison down in Alpha, I guess that was 13, and it just didn't want to burn down. I was very upset about that. I thought I could burn it down, and it just wouldn't burn down. What a disappointment so far. Like, very few amounts of contraband have been found. Let's look at the contraband map. 24 hours. Excuse me, I got hiccups. Once again, you can see the major choke points. This one's a major choke point. That's why there's not a lot at these three, which actually shows me something. If I had just put metal detectors around the canteen, I probably could have gotten away without having them at every single entrance to the prison cells. So there you go, guys. There's another little tidbit. As long as you have them in their main path, everyone has to go to the canteen. That's where most of the tools for for tunneling are stolen from, right? So if you fill them in here, you don't have to have them like this. This was an experiment again, and it's been incredibly effective. I mean, you can't doubt it. Look at this, 7 days. You can see checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint. All the checkpoints, there's the clusters of stuff. Let's look at all time. This is what they'll steal in 104 days, guys. But you can see here the effectiveness of my checkpoints. Like original prison cells. These are the two original blocks, right? And this is the original. These three are the original checkpoints here. So you can see the major clustering. I used to have a checkpoint right here with a dog. You can see a lot of the drugs were found right there. We'll just scroll in so you can get a better look. So a lot of drugs were originally found here. All right. These keys and batons and everything like that, that's all from rioting. Morgue, that's for when the dead bodies ended up here. It's mostly batons in there, I would think. Forks. Yeah, these guys stole forks, and they had them on them when they died. Well, I'm kind of disappointed the contraband hasn't been popping off too much. But this has been an effective spot for stopping spoons. Like, look, since we built these prison blocks above us, look how many spoons have been trying to smuggle out through this way. It's a frickin' shit ton. Because and even though we have guys working in here, I gotta say I'm quite impressed that the number of forks and knives and stuff that have been stolen. Very few have made it out of here. Look, you can see the lines being traced. Where does it show? You're not seeing any lines hitting into the kitchen. No one's been stealing stuff. Well, okay, hold on. There was some stuff there. All right, so there was one fork was stolen there, or something like that. But don't be afraid to have your guys working in the kitchen. Don't be afraid, because they're not as big as thieves coming out of that kitchen as you might think. It's worked out well. But anyway, looks like our shakedown's not going to be very effective. Oh, there's some drugs found. It's always nice to have that shit caught. But yeah, look at that. There's nothing. These guys have really not stolen that much. So we're just going to turn off this now. And I'm going to end this here. Hope you guys have enjoyed our playthrough of this prison. And here's one last look. One last look at this piece of art. I'll see you guys all in the next episode, which is going to be Day 105, Thunderdome. Make sure you tune in for Thunderdome.